We're schooling from home, and we're creating a whole lot more documents and papers and things like that. And what's the answer? How do you get rid of that clutter? You've got to have an awesome shredder. And tonight, we've taken the #1 best name, the one that sells the most of any, and we literally have made it our today's special for 24 hours. It all starts here and now. I'm going to do the colors. We're going to get into all the details, but definitely shop early, because every time we've done a today's special from Embassy, they always sell out. And I'm a big shredder fan because I don't like the pressure and the worry of throwing away important information. And my Embassy works hard for me, and this one's gonna even work harder for you. All right, here are your colors right off the bat, because I don't want you to wait if you need a new shredder, okay? We've got the silver back here. Okay, check out this one, I love it. This is the rose gold. Come on, girls, you got the rose gold phone, the case, the tablet, the computer, you'll love that. Then we've got the red, which is always very popular. Now, this one is the most limited, by the way. This is the champagne gold, super elegant. Wait till you see I'll show you a picture of my original Embassy that's still the microcut. This looks so much better. We've got this gorgeous navy. We also have the black. So we have all of the colors available. That's what I love about midnight. Now, we're gonna go to my Facebook page. I'm gonna show you. I am a bit of a shredaholic. I really love it. I've got kind of an obsession about it. And literally, my Embassy is so efficient in size that it is on a shelf that is about 10 inches wide, and I have it in a little closet, this little just shelf closet I have at my house. And so that's my own personal one, and look at the difference between that one, and trust me, that baby's still working great. I absolutely love it. I should probably put a name to it. And look at that one, and look at the upgraded version we have tonight. It's got a longer, beautiful window. Mine was just basic black, so it's not that pretty. These are gorgeous. You don't mind leaving them out. It's also taller, and when I turn it sideways, guys, it's actually an even more slim design than ever before. So it's the perfect way to really secure all that paper and information and truly end the clutter. Now, I'm gonna walk over there real quick. I'm gonna show you one thing. We've got lots of improvements. This is the most powerful we've done, and it has the biggest capacity. So we're gonna start on #1, and you guys are gonna check back in with me a little bit later. One of the best features of all is you can shred multi from the back, and you can also at the very same time shred from the front. So it's gonna do all of that, and it's gonna do it truly flawlessly. All right, so let's get busy. We gotta find out and learn all about this new version, and to do that, Bill is joining me from his home. Hi, Bill, welcome back.
Glad to be back and glad to be with you guys again, because we're always excited when we can bring Embassy in, but it's not always at a Today Special, and that's what's really exciting. Notice that shredder, it's right within reach, because my desk is out of control. It's the student's desk, it's the work at home desk. All our Embassies are on casters, nice, smooth experience, so I can wheel it out, because as you just pointed out, what they've done is they've made it a little taller, a little leaner, yet they've given us a 5.5-gallon removable drawer. Why is that drawer important? Because I also like to leave it open, and then it acts as my waste bin. So when I need to just throw stuff away, I can do that. When I need to shred, I shut the drawer. But if you notice, you open up the lid is now giving me that auto shred tray. So all of a sudden I just did a big purge, or I found this big stack of documents. It's not 30 pages, 40 pages. It's a 130 sheet document or file that I've been holding on to. This machine can accommodate it, because I can just take that stack and I can just come right over here, load it up, and it's gonna auto shred. So what's that gonna allow me to do? I'm gonna get back to taking that telephone call. I'm gonna get back to, sending out those emails. And that's the convenience of what this is affording me. Because, back in the day, what do we used to have to do? I used to have to count out a few pages and then make sure it went in properly. With this, it has the power to shred in the back automatically, 10 sheets in the front at the exact same time. And as you pointed out, notice what I'm walking away with. It's microcut. And if you're new, you might not have been familiar with what microcut is. Oh, by the way, when it shreds, the bin even illuminates so you can see it shredding right before your eyes. So notice what you're seeing right there. That is a smaller shred. It's smaller so it's more protected. Because one of the #1 reasons why we need to have a shredder is to protect our identity. Sure, it's great to get rid of the clutter, but it's protecting our credit score. It's protecting our social security number and medical records and all that information. And you see how this is the evolution of shred. It was strip cut, which we all seen. Then we went to cross cut, and watch what happens when we go to microcut. Those gears get bigger, the teeth multiply, which allows you to get a smaller shred. But more importantly, it also has the power to go through all of those pages at a time. 10 sheets, 130 automatically. And before you know it, that stack of stuff that's been in a drawer, that mail that's still coming in because they want me to get to the polls and all that stuff can just be shredded. And the thing that's important about that shred is my identity is on every piece of paper that you're noticing. It's an address, it's a middle name, it's, my phone number, and that information in the wrong hands can do some damage. So what happens is, because it's doing this automatically, guess what? I'm taking the dog for a walk. I'm helping the kids with their homework, or I'm gonna actually stop this just for a second, because you notice with the large peekaboo window, I notice when it gets filled up, I take out this drawer, and notice what I'm throwing away. That is what Microcut is. It is so small and so fine, they can't piece it together. And that's really where you want to appreciate that upgrade, because it is about knowing when I do throw something away at the curb, you're protecting yourself. And as we've been talking about, I'm working from home now. So this is not just my medical information or my private information, this is corporate information. So I really am now being smart as an employee and smart in my house. But if you were like me, I didn't think I would be working from home nearly this long. And now that I am, I want to upgrade my home office. Because you know what I actually used to do? I used to take my stuff to the office to shred because they had a better shredder at work. Now I can take that junk mail. I can take whatever's coming into me, not even open it up. And you've got to admit, it feels a little good. You get that clutter gone. And before you know it, you're on top of it and you're managing it. That's why getting them in the colors is kind of nice. Because maybe you do want to leave it out, which is just great. See that nice bright red and just know it's time to shred.
Okay, guys, so let me just give you a quick update of where we stand. Now, this is our best foot forward today. It's called a Today Special, pretty clever. The price is only good for a single day, and here's what we've done. We're giving you the most powerful shredder, the most capacity we've ever done, and the best value we've put together for a single 24-hour window while they last. Now, I do want to show you the value, because it's important. Why buy it from us? You can buy Embassy shredders elsewhere. No one, including Embassy, is going to give you a better value than this. So let's jump to that screen so I can show you truly how the numbers add up. Now, if you're just buying this, remember, this is the most powerful, biggest capacity, slim line, really designed to last for years and years. You would spend $210. And then we're gonna add the lubricant sheets. There's 6 of those, and that's great. I finally used my first one the other day, and I've had mine for years. I literally was at home moving from my old house to a very small space. And I'll tell you what, no one has tested an Embassy shredder more than I did when I moved from my house to under 700 square feet, because we had, oh my God, I literally had bags of papers that I've been keeping in closets and hidden in drawers, and I got them all out and I thought, my gosh, I gotta get rid of all this. So I would sit in my front sunroom and all I would do was shred, shred, shred. When you start using this back shred, especially if you have like multiple sheets of stuff, oh my gosh, it's such a joy, because for me, I had old tax forms, old reports, old credit card stuff, and you just throw it in there and let it do its job, right? You don't have to worry about it. And then I would love it too, because then I could do double duty and I would hit the front and they get that one going as well. So when you get all of this happening, it means you end the clutter. So trust me, I really put mine to the test. And then when I was done with all of it, and we're talking hours and hours of shredding over multiple days, that's how much junk I'd collected. I literally was so happy I decided to use a lubricant sheet. I'd never used one before, thought, well, after that workout, it's probably gonna need it. But here's the reason why you wanna get this. You don't want people to get your information. For me, I think my obsession is that I'm worry-free. Like once I shred it, it's one less thing for me to worry about. And trust me, people go through your garbage. If they can get information from you, all that vital information, it can be years correcting the problem. They can ruin your credit score if they get it. And if you just have a buildup of old checks and old files, maybe like Bill, you inherited a family member's old boxes and crates of paperwork, grab this shredder while we have it available. Now, I do want to mention, you see the clear front on Bill's, and I've got a clear front over here. That's just demo purposes. That is not what you're getting. You're actually going to get all the looks that you see here in the front of me. Most popular right now, Jared, which one? I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess the rose gold. I got it right. All right, because I know you girls. We love the rose gold. Oh, but it's in a dead heat right here with the red. So these two are the most popular. Love the champagne gold, very neutral in the navy. Black is great, and obviously I'm using the silver up here behind me. This is an awesome opportunity with our 5 flex pays and free shipping. You're gonna spend $29 tonight. You're gonna use this for years and years and years to come. You can see mine's a multi-cut, but it's an older shredder. I bought it a couple years ago. It still works today like I did when I first bought it. And I've really, like I said, put it through its paces. But right now with 5, there it is. That's my original one. Hey, Bill, do you remember us selling that one?
I do, and the thing is, I love that you're such a happy customer because that's truly what has made Embassy so successful. We've had it over the years. All of them become customer picked. But this is truly the largest bin we've given you, the most power in terms of that auto shred. It has one job. There's no app I have to download or learning curve. If you can put bread in a toaster, you can put your Embassy to work and get that satisfaction right away. So watch, I'm gonna put in my social security information just like this, and you're gonna see it shred right in front of your eyes. I have a clear bin so you can see how small that shred is, because that small shred is important. If you're still shredding with something like this is from the 70s, and this is your credit score. This is what's gonna affect your mortgage and your car payment. But when you're throwing away something like this, it's unidentifiable. Even though it's powerful, it's very quiet. I love that they put them all on casters, because yeah, I can just wheel this right over here and get on back with my work, or you know what? Oh, I found something else. Realize I can shred while it's auto shredding at the exact same time. And you know what? I know we're getting into the holiday season, but I gotta tell you, this is a great gift to give to someone because they'll use it, they'll appreciate it. Because you even mentioned how you're going through the clutter. So I've been home, I've been going through some boxes, and I'm like, I don't need this stuff anymore. This is a checkbook I found from 97 to 2000, and I found
oh, wow.
I found a check to the IRS. I paid $57 in taxes. But the thing is, it's like, I can't throw this stuff away because that is my bank account. I still have that bank account. It's still my name. So I want to be able to shred all this. And look at this. I'm loading it up. I don't have to count out the number of pages. And while I'm loading this up, I want you to notice it's still auto shred feeding in the back. And actually check out this. Yours is going to come to you in a nice big cardboard box. That is information. That is someone's identity. Recycle the cardboard. Don't recycle your identity. And look what happens to that cardboard. It has the power to go through cardboard and auto shred in the back. And this is also what I got to tell you. It feels amazing because you get that instant gratification, but all of a sudden this clutter that you've been holding on to, this is like, I got to get through this stuff. I can't just throw it away, because you're not going to just throw it away. Because I mean, we're home right now. I go and open up every drawer. It's like, oh, what am I going to do with all this stuff? It's like, actually, it was funny. I was like, what can I shred in here? And I opened up this one file. Where'd it go? Of course, now I can't find it. I love that. But I found credit cards in here from 2013. They had expired. I can't just throw away that credit card. And I can't even just throw away this file because, you know, it's personal private information. But I can take that entire stack of whatever this is, load it up in the auto shred tray, or just come right over here. And I got to tell you, all of a sudden that desk drawer that was overflowing, I'm going to get that drawer back. I'm going to get that counter space back. And I'm being smart about it. One thing you have to realize, the federal government tells us we need to shred our documents, because one of the #1 complaints to the Federal Trade Commission, it's identity theft. And the worst part about it is they can't even prosecute most of it because it's already happened and it's done. So we went to their webpage and, you know, they warned us. There's many steps you can take to reduce the risk of being an identity theft victim. Closely guard your social security number. We've heard that for years. But then shred charge receipts, shred credit applications, and other sensitive documents. And that other, it's not just going to be different for every household. It's different for every person in that house. Because, you know, there's got people going through refinance, people going through medical stuff, school stuff, purchasing a car or whatever. And all of that information is personal, it's private. You get your cell phone bill sent to you in the mail, all those informations and numbers and who you're texting. You can't just throw it away. You can't just do this, because we've all done that. But remember, with this large bin, I'm going to stop it just for a moment again, because this is what I like to do in my home office. My home office is small. I'll leave that drawer open, and that drawer, now it can throw things away, which is great. But please notice, if you can see in here, I threw away that one piece of paper. Look how much space that one piece is taking up versus how many we have gone through. And when I throw this away, that is peace of mind. Someone in the neighborhood's like, I missed the party. Why wasn't I invited? And you know what? It is a party when shredding is this fun, because how many of us had the situation where it's like, I'm going to get around to it. I'm going to get around to it.
Right.
Because we knew shredding was a chore. I knew I had
Right.
to count out 9 pages, make sure it went in straight,
Right.
remove the staples. I've added staples. I've gone through credit cards. I've gone through cardboard. And this just keeps going and going. It's a workhorse.
Hey, Bill.
And that's what we want when we invest in a product for our house. Yeah.
And I want to add an exclamation point to your comment, because this is one of the reviews from one of our original models that we had. Remember, this is the Microcut. This is the latest. So we're just launching it tonight. But I love this review. This is going to crack you up. This gal said she bought it for her husband because he would yell at the old one and his back would hurt from sitting there feeding the paper, and he was doing it one at a time. So you have to sit there forever. 1, 2. You couldn't just throw a bunch in the back and let it do its thing. And she said she loved the feeder, the one in the back, and she loves not hearing any more talking to the shredder. Which is, we've all had that problem, you know? If you're still doing that one feed, I bet you any amount of money, you have a pile of paper sitting on a desk somewhere, in a drawer, in a cabinet, on a shelf, because you just don't have time to feed it one at a time. This eliminates that, guys. When you, oh my God, the first time you start using that part in the back, that auto shredder in the back, and you walk away from it, it's like it's like freedom. You're not just stuck there trapped having to do one at a time for hours and hours. You just set it on there and you just literally walk away. I 100% love that. And if you're doing a lot of transactions, maybe you're refinancing your home, maybe you're getting a new mortgage now because the rates are so low, you're gonna get paperwork that's insane that you don't have to keep forever and ever. My gosh, when you set it back here and just walk away, you just don't know how awesome a feeling it is. Now, Bill, I'll tell you another kind of funny story too, because I do have an obsession. My friend Lana, her husband Doug, he has a shredder obsession as well. And there is, I think ultimately, I was trying to figure out why I feel so passionate about this and why it makes me happy. It really does. I love shredding stuff. And I figured it out when I really thought about it. It is absolutely, it's one less thing I have to worry about in life. So when I have a whole bunch of receipts that I get from the grocery store or whatever, there's nothing happier than shredding them and not having to go back through that annoying pile that sits in a cabinet until I can get time to do it. I have mine, you saw in the picture, it's plugged in, it's permanently set up. I have mine, and there's a really cool feature on top that it'll stay on, and it only shreds when it senses that you're putting something in there. So mine's on all the time. I literally put a hole in the back of that shelf, and there's a plug behind there so that I would never have to plug it in or roll it around. It's just absolutely ready to go. So I love it. I get receipts and I pull them out of my purse and I stick them in here. If I get my mail, oh my God, how many of you have a ton of mail that you know you need to shred? And again, it's all piled up in a bag or on top of the counter in the kitchen. We all do that, right? Oh my gosh, when you get a piece of mail that you don't need, it is so amazing just to toss that baby inside here and just see it shred away. And then you also don't have the clutter. You know, Bill, it's funny because it's really one thing follows the other, because as things build up, it gets frustrating in your life. You don't have time to do it. You hate the clutter. But when you can stay on top of that, there's multiple levels of happiness that having a really good shredder provides. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but I've really discovered that using my own embassy.
Well, I'm sure you've been there too, when you craft or you do your taxes, like, I want to start with a clean slate, I need room. But when you're buried under a stack of paperwork, it's you know, you put it off. You don't get the job done. And that's where it is great. And, you know, some things we do need to keep, which is important. You know, we keep our tax returns for about 7 years. We keep payroll checks, you know, for the full year. But then when we can finally throw stuff away and purge, it does feel good. And actually, you shared so many great stories. One I like to share is a guest at HSN was hired, first job out of college, big fancy law firm, to sit in a conference room and truly sit there and shred all the paperwork, because it couldn't shred on its own. You needed someone to feed it and count out 6 pages at a time. And so what you're seeing here is, you know, some things we can get rid of right away. Those ATM receipts, those credit card offers, those credit card statements, you know, balance it out, get rid of it. You don't maybe want to scan it and then you're not holding on to it, but you can't just crumple it up and throw it away, because that credit card has your information on it, has your account number. You want to keep those paycheck stubs for about a year, because guess what? You want to make sure you're getting all that vacation time and everything's appropriate. And then after 7 years, you can get rid of those taxes. Check with your accountant, but you know, it does feel so good, because that box that you've been kicking under the desk, that box has been in the back of your, you know, closet because it's private personal information, you can shred it. And also, I love how you're talking about your friend who was hunched over. This does sit nice and tall. It is on casters, so I can wheel it around, which is great. Can you notice that a little bit of illumination in there? That's new with this model too, so you can see what you're shredding and get that instantly. I love these new finishes. These new finishes are shinier than ever, so it's got that nice metallic finish. So this is that red. Remember, I'm shredding in a clear bed, so you can kind of see the instant gratification. But more importantly, when you get this home, you just plug it in. You don't have to really read the manual. You don't have to download and make sure you configure it. Just put it in your office. I leave mine right over here. It's there all the time because guess what? The mail came today, or I printed stuff off the computer. I don't need this credit card offer, so I just shred it. And actually, I took a little vacation, went and saw some of the family, and I came back to stacks and stacks of mail. I loaded them all right up here in the back and went on to unpacking my suitcase, because that's what the auto tray affords you. It's still shredding in the back, but I didn't have to sit here for 100 pages counting out a few at a time, and I could get on with other things, sending out an email, going back to my conference call. And at the end of the day, it does feel good, because when this fills up, I just take this drawer and I throw it away. I take it and just dump this microcut into the garbage can. And this microcut, you'll notice, it is so fine and so small, you can't read any of the information. This is a 30-piece puzzle from the 70s. This is thousands of shreds per page. And remember, it's not just doing a page at a time. We can do 10 sheets at a time in the front, 130 in the back, which we've never offered that before. And when you start to see that stack disappear, you're like, what else can I shred? It feels good. I think someone even called it shredding therapy. Because all of a sudden, I've been holding on to this, isn't it? And that's usually, we all have stacks on the kitchen counter, in the office, even on the nightstand. Just walk right over to this. And actually, I gave one to my mother, because you mentioned friends with boxes of stuff. In the back of her garage, there were like 6 boxes of, estate documents. My grandmother had passed away. We couldn't throw it away. My mom was holding on to those boxes for that one day at the bank when it was free shredding, or one day at the school. But she still had to load it all up, hand it over to a third party. Or you know what? With this, a stack of 130 at a time. And you have to realize, this was a stack of 130 pages. I found a stack of 30 sheets, loaded up. Stack of 40 sheets,
it's
loaded
brilliant.
up.
Yeah.
Right?
But you know what, Bill? And you don't know it until you do it. You really don't understand. If you do not have this back auto feeder back here, if you just have a traditional regular shredder, it might be a microcut, you think it's powerful. Once you get this into your life, that's the game changer. And I like it because it does look good. You don't have to hide it away. I used to have an original shredder, then I'll show you what it did. I actually had a shredder for years until I got the Embassy you saw in the picture I posted on Facebook that did this. And again, I knew for several years I really needed to upgrade, and this was the upgrade, and now we're here with today's offer. And it's amazing. The one I had that did this, oh my gosh, it was so heavy. It weighed a ton. It was really ugly. And I never used it because it would overheat all the time. I would do like 4 or 5, I'd stand there and try to do a couple of them. And especially when you got to that heavier stuff, like you're talking about cardboard, there's no way, that wouldn't work. And it would overheat. I'd have to walk away, wait for it to cool down, and that took a couple of hours, and then I could go back to it. You don't have the problem anymore. When you need to shred, it's instantly ready to go. This is gonna do it for you. And this is heavy duty cardboard, guys. So if you've got the credit cards, the cardboards, you know what I found? Because I just, you just throw stuff in a kitchen drawer. I found a whole bunch of reward cards that were old. Gift cards that I'd already used, but I thought, you know what? I probably should shred those just to be careful and take care of them. And again, let me kind of give you an update on color. So I love midnight because I got them all. By the end of the day, that's never the truth. But here we go. We have the rose gold. That's the #1 best-selling. Here's an update on quantity as we head into this first show. I have 1,800 for the rest of the entire day. That's just a blip. That's not a lot. Now, my red is the second most popular, and unfortunately, I am down to 1,500 in the red. I've got a hair bit more in the champagne gold. I think these are all just gorgeous. Then we have this beautiful navy, and look how pretty that finishes on the navy. We've got the black, and then obviously I'm working with the silver. How do you get this at home? There's a couple things that we're doing right now that we never do for the rest of the year. We have 5 flex pays tonight, and we have free shipping. This is not a small pair of earrings. You're saving $17 on the shipping because you're buying it right now. Free shipping counts. I bought some Andrew Lessman vitamins today. I'll tell you why. Free shipping on them today. And I used the 5 flex. And we've got the 5 flex tonight, and that ends at the end of today. We've done it all weekend, and we're extending it through today, and then that's it. Flex pay is important, though. You say, how do I do that? All right, what you do is you have a major credit card or PayPal. You buy it tonight, you're gonna spend, what are we doing? $29 on it and some tax inside there. It's free shipping, right? So just a little tax. Then what happens is you're gonna pay it off in 5 months. But here's the key. You have until the end of January to absolutely become shredding obsessed like I am. And if you don't 100% love this thing, you can send it back for a refund at the end of January. So that's months of decluttering. Now, trust me, I don't think you'll send it back. I have been so impressed with my Embassy. It is such a good machine. It does such a good job, and it's always there eagerly waiting. I've never had any problems. I've never had a jam I couldn't clear. And here's what's really interesting. Let's say you get overly eager like sometimes I do, and I shove something really thick down here. There's a reverse on this that helps you to unjam it, which is great, and I've been able to clear it. And my model's gotta be at least 3 years old now, and it just is that workhorse. And I truly get so excited when I have something to shred because it means I have one less worry. And I think if you don't shred, even if it's not an active worry, it's always in the back of your mind like, oh, I just threw that away. Uh-oh, is anybody gonna get that at the garbage? Are they gonna take it out of my trash can in the alley? Oh, I just put the trash in the front yard. Shoot, I probably shouldn't have put those medical forms in there. Because honestly, with the internet, once people can get just a little bit of information about you, they take the paper, they go to their computer, and that's where the nightmare begins. And it's really the onset of the internet that has made this so prolific in our world of identity theft. Stop the madness. Don't even have the worry to begin with, and trust me, it all starts here. And because you buy it tonight and use our Flex and all that kind of good stuff, this is years of use. You know, Bill, what I love is, man, I mean, you can really, this is a workhorse. It is so well built, and it's so durable that you buy it tonight. It's not something you have to buy a year from now because it's poorly made. They make great shredders.
Actually, I love that you're sharing that because Alice Carone used to think shredders were disposable and you would get one with each tax season because they wouldn't last and they would jam and they would overheat. These truly do last, and that's why I also appreciate the fact that the care package is included. So you notice it went through 130 sheets, didn't have to sit there and feed them in, but this care package gives you 6 lubricant sheets and even a bin liner. And I also love how you talked about how prolific it has become. Because think of it this way. I'm going to close that drawer because guess what? I did all the auto shredding. But when we launched Embassy about 6 years ago, the statistic from the federal government was 1 in 10 of us was victims of identity theft. It's actually now 1 in 7, and it's gone up.
Wow.
And a lot of us have tried to reduce our paper footprint and declutter and all that, but you said it perfectly. It's all that stuff that's coming to us off the internet, all those pre-filled out offers, which, you know, I didn't even open this up because I don't need another credit card, but I can't just throw it away because my information's in there. So without even opening it up, I'm gonna put it in here. Oh, do you notice mine stopped? It knows the bin is full, so it actually just stops. Again, this is where Embassy thinks of everything, from the casters it sits on to an automatic shutoff. And guess what? I take this 5.6 gallon bin and take that and throw everything away. It's a smaller shred too, which you're gonna notice because it's smaller and finer. It's not going to fill up nearly as fast, so you're not going to be emptying it all the time. And so what I appreciate too is I'm going to put the red one back in. So I just want you to see that nice shiny finish. Leave it out. The more you leave it out, the more you use it, the more you're going to be protecting yourself. And you don't have to baby it. Because right over here, I got all these papers. I'm going to add staples and not worry about it because I'm going to come right over here. It's going to shred through it. Oh, expired credit card. Don't need that anymore. And guess what? It's going to be able to do that as well. And then after, you know, I've done some purging, sure, take one of the lubricant sheets and realize there's oil in here. It's not going to get on my hands. I'm going to let it sit in here. I'm going to let all those oils go into the gears and just give it a nice little drink of water. Or, you know, after a big road trip, you kind of give your oil a nice change in the car. So that's what's going to help you keep it going and going. Because then all of a sudden, I'm in that moment, I'm finding something else to shred. Oh, this stack's too big. Just load up that back door, and guess what? Let this do the work, and I'm going to go back and take the dog for a walk. I'm going to go finish my show. I don't have to sit here and babysit all the time. But then when I do throw it away, I know it's a smaller, more protected shred. Because remember, we need to shred because this is our first line of defense to protect ourselves from identity fraud. Because, you know, if I just crumple up that paper, I think it's not going to happen to me. Or tax season happens to everybody. Half of all identity theft, 49%, happens during tax season. So you're going to be ready. When January comes around, when you're starting to pull out those files, you're going to be prepared, and it's going to feel really good to know you're being smart about it, and you got a good piece of equipment too.
Okay, so Bill, we got two things I want to share with you. If you want the extra shredder paper waste liners, we have a pack of 50 that are available. They're handy because they're made and designed to fit exactly inside the shredder. So ask about these, those are available. And if you want additional lubrication sheets, we have those available as well. You get 6 with our set though. And I've only used one so far, and I've had mine for like 3 years. So, you know, it's nice to have extra, but you get 6 with it. So I don't think you're gonna need those too soon, but we've got them available if you want to get more. Also, if you have one of our Embassy shredders and you've run out of your lubrication sheets, we've got them in stock, and it's a really nice value. So you might want to grab those extras, especially if you've run out of yours. You got great colors, and I'm telling you, of all things, just the clutter busting. When I was moving from my house, I just couldn't believe I had more paper tucked away, and bills and old letters and medical records, because I was really afraid to throw them away. And I literally pulled my Embassy out and just stood there. I found a bunch of stuff under beds. I was like, really, why did I hide that bag of stuff under beds? I pulled it out under bed, used my Embassy, and it just worked like a gem. It's not gonna overheat on you. It just keeps going and going, and it's years of peace of mind. And I know that sounds silly, kind of, because you're like, oh, come on. But honestly, if you're like me, it's one less thing I have to worry about. You get back, you have a bunch of receipts, you wanna shred them. I don't even trust my receipts in the trash. I don't. My grocery receipts, I don't care if I go through a drive-through, I always shred I shred anything that has any of my personal information. How many of you get offers in the mail? My sister one time got an offer in the mail because they were gonna give you, you know, you get so much money if you just sign this thing and send it back in, and they had moved, and it arrived at the house, and somebody got a hold of that, and they signed it, and my sister's like, I didn't open up that credit card for $2,800. I'm like, oh, yes, you did. You've got to get rid of that stuff. How many of you get offers that you don't want? How many of you get something from an automobile dealership and it's offering you some big deal? You got to get rid of all that. If someone gets a hold of that, it causes so much damage. And here's the thing. If you ever had to correct identity theft, it can be years trying to correct it, and it can be thousands of dollars, and it takes hours of time, and it will screw up your credit rating for the longest time because you've got to figure out what happened, when did it happen. It's just a waste of time. Why worry about that when you're taking care of it right here? You know, you don't open up your computer and say, please, everyone see every password I have. Oh, I hope you look at all my passwords. Do you know how dangerous that would be? Well, you don't want it from your paper information either. And this is if you've ever had your identity stolen, you know how much it cost you and how much time it cost you to fix it. Why not just pay for this tonight, use our FlexPay, free shipping, the whole thing, and never have to worry about that. It's so important to do so. Rose is in the lead, red's the most limited. Then we have, of course, the champagne gold's beautiful, the silver, the navy, and the black. It's a brand new design, the biggest capacity. It's the most powerful we've ever offered. You're getting the latest in cut technology. You get the lubrication sheets in a phenomenal value, because normally this would be $216. And trust me, even at over 200, it's so worth it to have a great shredder. And if you're still standing there doing that one at a time, oh please, this will change your life when you add this to your home. All right, look, there's $219. You pay $210 just for the shredder. We add the sheets. It's a retail value of $216. So obviously, what's $29 over 5 months for that kind of peace of mind? And of course, you get free shipping today too. Bill, I know you've got some more to share with us, so what do you want to do next?
Well, I mean, I'm purging, and I just found more stuff, and I'm just going to load this up. And actually, I love that story you shared about the credit card offer, because I was a victim of identity theft. I was a sophomore in college. I think all freshman year, I just filled out credit card applications because you got free T-shirts and all that stuff. But the thing is, I didn't realize I was that victim of identity theft until I went to pick up my financial aid check, and they're like, you don't qualify. And that's really what happens to most identity theft victims. They don't realize that one piece of paper made them a victim until it's already happened to them, until they don't qualify. And then it becomes this paper chase, filling out an 85-page document with the federal government and babysitting it and making sure everything's getting filed and fixed and you're protected. You don't want to be sitting down at the car dealership trying to get that good financing, and you know they advertise 3%, and they come back and like, well, sir, you only qualify for 7%. That's where it hits us every day. But when you said you shred all the time, because now it's easy. It's easy to shred. It's not going to overheat. It's not going to jam. And you also have that instant gratification of seeing it right before your eyes. And remember, the proof is right there because it's a smaller, finer shred. If you had a shredder or if you have one with that strip cut or even cross cut, do you really want to evolve to a micro cut because it is a finer, smaller shred, so you're more protected? But because it is smaller and more dense, you can shred a lot more without always having to empty it and worry about it. And realize it's shredding right now, and I could, go out and walk the dog, go tuck the kids in, and it's still gonna go shred and shred and shred because of this auto feeding tray, which we have started to offer. It's becoming more common, but not as a Today Special and not with that 130 sheet capacity. So really, if you thought about it, upgrade, add it to your home office. I love the fact that I use this pull-out bin as my waste bin because my home office is kind of small. So this is my trash can. This is my shredder. It's all great. I shut that drawer and it's back to shredding because I shred more often than not. Like you were saying, if it's a receipt, shred it because you don't want to run the risk that credit card number, the last 4 digits, being in the wrong hands.
Well, you know what, Bill, if you're not shredding now, it's because you got a single sheet shredder and it just takes way too long, or it overheats too much, or it doesn't do the thick stuff, or you got an old shredder, or you have old technology. It's the perfect night. Oh, and something else I didn't mention, I apologize. This is our last Today Special shredder for the rest of the year. I love you, and I know what you do because I'm the same way. You're like, oh, I know they'll have a special deal over Thanksgiving weekend, or, oh, I'll get this later on. Nope, this is it. This is our finest and best deal for a shredder for the rest of the year. And it does make an awesome gift, especially if you got a lot of paper collecting up in your house because of school work, homework, work at home. It's an awesome piece to have. I just want to do one more review before we wrap it up. I love this one. It says saves a load of time because you can stack up your stuff ready for the shredding instead of having to feed each sheet individually. Those comments are over and over and over again when it comes to the embassy. The AutoFeed, and trust me, we only launched the AutoFeed not too long ago. So to have that new maxed out 130 sheet AutoFeed in the back, that is truly a game changer. And I know the first time you use it, you're gonna go, oh, that nutty girl was right. It is so awesome to have that feature. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I think we've sold, what, about 1,000 already in just this show? We're getting there? Okay, so we'll get about 1,000 to 1,200 in just this first airing, just a little ways in. If you don't have yours yet, I love midnight, because guess what? You get all the pick of the litter. So you get every color we have here. Hey, by the way, Bill, we'll see you in a few. I'll see you next hour. But I want to show you this coming up. Okay, stay with me. This is the famous Chromebook. Now, we've got this coming up a little bit later. If you are looking for